addicted to luxury, fashion, and shopping. Today is going to be a very valuable resource. I'm going to share all about what to pick for your first Chanel, what classics to go for. So I have a couple of eye candies to show you, and hopefully it can help you in your journey of picking out your first, or maybe it's your second or third Chanel. I've loved Chanel for so many years. I have been a Chanel shopper for over 15 years, and so I know a little bit about Chanel, and I'll just show you how I pick my buying purchases, and let's get started. So we're only talking about Chanel classic flaps here. Today I want to talk to you the differences about Caviar Lambskin, gold hardware, light gold hardware, silver, as well as some of the sizes. It's not going to be a whole comprehensive guide in this one video. I think it's going to take ages for that, but this is just a quick guide just to start you off thinking. So this is my first baby ever. It's my medium classic flap Caviar with gold hardware. I predominantly wear gold jewelry. That hasn't changed, surprisingly, over, I think I got my first gold necklace when I was like 6 years old, a present from my aunt. And I have not changed. I've still worn gold jewelry for the majority of my life. I also have some silver pieces, but I lean towards gold or rose gold. So gold hardware would be my first choice, but I'm going to show you a couple of different variations. So this is Caviar. You can see that the grains are quite large. I believe back in the day when I got this, I don't believe there was a difference between the different Caviars. Now there are regular Caviar, which is this one. Caviar is calf skin, and basically these are embossed calf skin. These Chanel specifically calls their calf skin Caviar. And there are two different types. One is the large regular type, which is this, and also one that's called small Caviar, which these grains are smaller. So there's two of those choices. I personally prefer the regular Caviar. I know some seasons, some bags, they only come in small Caviar and regular Caviar. I personally like regular. I mean, that's just an aesthetic choice. I feel that the regular Caviar, the one with the larger grain, feels smoother to the touch, whereas the small Caviar, it feels a little bit rougher because the bumps are closer together. The hand texture of it feels rougher. It's just a preference. There's almost minimal difference if you weren't well versed in it. Regular Caviar and small Caviar might look the same to you, but there's actually that small difference where the grain size is different. Back when they used to have 24 karat yellow gold, that I don't have a vintage Chanel, so I don't have that comparison. But that yellow gold was very like 24 karat gold. So same as these earrings are 24 karat. It would be a very yellow gold. I actually think that the gold hardware from Chanel is a good representative of what gold hardware is. Of course, now they don't sell the plated gold hardware anymore, and now we just have the choice of gold, light gold, and silver. Although I might own like a piece or two of the light gold hardware for Chanel, I don't personally like it as much as the gold hardware. I think the gold hardware is very rich, and it's more classic to me. But nowadays, Chanel has been coming out with a lot of light gold hardware items, because maybe it matches their colors better or not. Here, I'm going to show you, this is a jumbo. This is a lambskin jumbo Chanel with silver hardware. So you can see the difference already here. This is the silver with lambskin, completely different. The shine is different as well. And this one's gold. I believe, like, in my opinion, I think that the silver hardware is more casual. It goes better for items if you want to wear it on a daily basis. This size is a jumbo, so it's fairly big. I personally love it, but it's not for everybody. And the lambskin. So I've had this one for about a few years as well. And I barely have any scratches to it. There was a little bit of a color transfer up top, a little bit. So even though this is black, it did have a tiny bit of color transfer. So I would say lambskin is more delicate. I wouldn't say I've acquired that many scratches, but again, I am very careful with my bags. But lambskin, you definitely get more scratches. There's scratches all along the base here. If you can see those scratches and scuffs, I do take really good care of my bags, and it still has scratches. So you see scratches, minor scratches all around the front, and that little color transfer on the top. So if you're not planning to baby your bags, Caviar is a better choice for a first bag. But I do love the feeling of lambskin. I would say I love the feeling of lambskin more than I do Caviar. So if I was just to not pick it for the wear and tear, but more for how it feels and how I use it, I would pick the lambskin, because the lambskin just feels so luxurious. Like, the feeling of lambskin, just, there's no replacement. Caviar doesn't feel the same. It never will. It's just two different leathers, but it wears so much better. I've had this bag over 15 years, and I can't find a scratch on it. There's like nothing on here. This one I've had only for a few years, and already many little small scuffs all around the bag, no matter how much I baby it. So I think that's a huge difference, whether or not you want to pick lambskin and Caviar. Are you okay with having little scuff marks, maybe even little color transfer, even with black? I didn't even think that was possible, but even with black, there could be a little bit. I actually think this might even be Sharpie or something, but it doesn't come off. So yeah, so color transfer could be possible with lambskin. I would say very minimal risk with Caviar, but lambskin just feels so good. You really have to go to a boutique and try these skins out for yourself. Looking at pictures online only do so much for you. You really have to try and feel. And in terms of light gold and gold hardware, light gold hardware is a little bit lighter than this, and it probably matches about 10K gold jewelry. And I'll put up a picture. Light gold hardware, I think, is a good balance between gold and silver. If you didn't want to go too casual, but you didn't want to do too classic, light gold wear could be a good choice for you in terms of which color you like to pick. I personally am a classic girl through and through, so I would still go with a regular Caviar with gold hardware, but I think nowadays, how the trends are shaping up, I don't think it's a bad idea to get regular Caviar with light gold hardware. I think that would still be a very classic match throughout the years. And personally, I don't have much experience with the colors fading on my bags, although I do take really good care of it. I store it not in direct sunlight and always in dust bags. I try my best to, at least. And so those are the main differences: lambskin, Caviar, and all three different hardwares. And of course, there's a question of color. So here is the beige Claire. This is also with gold hardware, and this color is also one of the classics for Chanel. I believe they no longer call it this, or sometimes they call it new beige, and they have discontinued the color officially beige Claire quite a few years ago, if my memory serves me right. But this is still a classic, really sought out color from Chanel, the beige Claire. I think the beige Claire looks deceivingly light or dark depending on the lighting. I believe the camera does pick out the true color. This is also a really good first starter color for Chanel. So if you were to go out and pick your first Chanel bag, yes, there's that always a classic choice of black, but if you already have too many black bags or you're just not a fan of black, I think beige Caviar would be the two amazing colors. Yes, they've released beautiful colors over the years, white, pink, blues, caramel, etc. But I would still urge and say go for the most classic colors off to start. Ignore all of this if you're not a classic color girl and you love your bright colors. And like if your favorite color is pink, why not go for a pink Chanel for your first Chanel? I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and especially if you're gonna use that color the most, go for that pink, go for that bright color that you truly desire. My true desire when I first looked at Chanel was to collect the classic colors. I just wanted to have the most classic blacks in the different skins and the most classic colors. So I would say beige Claire and black would be the two most classic colors of Chanel. I think either one is good. Of course, I went for black as my first Chanel and I have no regrets here. The beige one, it does come in that beige interior, whereas that black, it does come with that burgundy interior. There are some collections, I believe the black collection that comes with a black interior, but I believe those are seasonal collections. The classic flap from the permanent collection comes with that burgundy interior. So there's just a couple of choices for you to really consider. First of all, to recap the leather, you want either regular caviar, small caviar, or lambskin. The colors for classic, potentially the most classic colors, black and beige Claire. Of course, there's loads of other colors too, so if you're not in those two color brackets, go off, sis. Go off and get that pink or purple, whatever seasonal color is. I do want to say, if you are into that resale market at all, I would urge you not to get that unicorn color and say stick with the classic black and beige. They have the best resale value for them. If you get a purple Chanel, which could be amazing for you, of course, but if you even potentially want to sell it in the future, you definitely wouldn't get as much of a return of it and as quick of a sell if you were to get like a classic color. I personally don't plan to sell, but I buy to keep forever. So I definitely still go with the colors that are more classic and not necessarily the resale value. So those are colors and hardware. We're like spoiled for choice now in 2022. I do love that rose gold hardware that Chanel came up with in the last 2 seasons. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of that rose gold hardware. It does look gorgeous. So there's that rose gold hardware, which is a seasonal hardware right now. Gold hardware, light gold, and silver. I personally, I mean, I've already mentioned it, but you can't say enough about the hardware. It's such a big choice. I know I've struggled really hard to pick the hardware colors for future bags as well as current ones, but silver, recap, more casual, light gold hardware in the middle, which is in between these two colors, a little bit more like 10K. I think it's a really good balance of classic and casual. And gold hardware, I would say it's a little bit more formal, very traditional. So those are the 3 options, and 4 if you count rose gold as a seasonal, for your choices. And in terms of size, I don't have a small to show you here. If we're talking about just classic flaps and not the maxi and not the minis, we'll just have the 3 main choices to choose from. So the small, the medium, and the jumbo here. The jumbo, I believe, is around 30 centimeters across, and the mediums are 25 centimeters across. I believe they vary from like maybe batch to batch, but I think those are some of those official measurements. And the small, which is I believe 23 centimeters, so just a tiny bit shorter here. The small is really good if you are petite. I would say if you are 5'1" to 5'3", a small size would do you justice. I'm 5'1", but I think the small is a little bit too small for me, just in terms of putting items in. The medium flap that I showed you in a previous video already doesn't fit too much. It's just like a nice mid-sized bag, and the small is even smaller. I would still be able to put all my essentials in it, of course, but I prefer a little bit more substance. And I believe the prices for small and medium, the prices for all of them aren't a huge range, especially when you hit that luxury price budget anyways. So I would just go for more of the size that you desire and the one that looks best on your frame, rather than worrying about price at that point if you're already planning to get this. So personally, I think medium is the best size for a lot of people. Most people think the medium is the holy grail size. And the jumbo, I know that I'm a small person, but I personally love how this looks on me. This is a jumbo, and it fits just like, it does fit quite large, quite wide, but I love this. I actually use this one a little bit more as a daily bag or a shopping bag over the medium. I do think that the silver lends its casualness for shopping, so that's my opinion. So jumbo is quite heavy. It is quite heavy. I have nothing in here. And this one is of course much lighter because it's smaller, but definitely the jumbo, massive, and it's huge. I've heard of people having shoulder or back pain because of their jumbo being too heavy, so keep that in mind in terms of the heaviness. This I think would be too large for like weddings or formal events. I think the jumbo is too large. I wouldn't carry that there. The jumbo I use for mostly shopping, brunch with friends, a casual dinner, but nothing too formal. I wouldn't bring the jumbo. The medium size is a perfect blend between still potentially going shopping with it, even traveling with it, because it's a smaller size, it doesn't take up this much room, but is also good for evening events and luxury, not luxury events. I don't go to any of those, but like weddings, formal dinners, or just the day when you want to really dress up. I think the medium size is perfect. Still fits everything. Small, you can consider that, but in terms of paying a little bit more and getting a size that can fit an actual bunch of stuff, I would go for the medium. The chain for both the small and the medium is the exact same length, so you don't have to worry about that. The jumbo, I believe, is a little bit longer, but generally the jumbo is too big of a size for you to crossbody. It just looks ridiculous. It's just a little bit too big for you to crossbody. So the jumbo, I exclusively use it as a shoulder bag. The small and the medium you could use as a crossbody, and that would be possible. So I hope that this quick guide helped you a little bit out, or maybe it just confused you even more. Please, apologies if that did happen, but hopefully it clarified a couple of points of what you could choose in terms of leathers, colors, hardware, and maybe it'll get you just this one step closer and getting that dream bag, whatever it is for you. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like this video. I would love to see you again on my channel, and definitely I'll be sharing more luxury hauls, more luxury goods, and just tips and tricks about anything really. I will share my brain with you all. See you soon and have an amazing rest of your day.